Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my review of Higurashi Sotsu. Finally wrapping up the series. After we're done, I always do a review, my thoughts, final thoughts on the series. Well, final. I'm sure it can change with time, like most of my opinions do, to be honest. But yeah, I say review. This is also just mainly uh it's not scripted, which you can probably tell. Um, it's just like thoughts and stuff. So if I do miss anything or you want me to discuss something further, just leave a comment and I'm willing to expand. But yeah, I mean, if you've watched my reaction, also if you're new here, hello. We reacted to like every single Higurashi thing, so you can just find, including Sotsu, so you can find the Sotsu reaction pretty easily. But if you watch the reaction, you would know that I did enjoy Sotsu and the new run of Higurashi. I thought it was great. But obviously we're gonna go over some positives, some negatives. I think before we start talking about anything else, we probably should talk about the format of Sotsu, because I'm just talking for myself. I don't really to be honest, I don't actually like look at too much Higurashi stuff outside of my small little community, so I can only kind of like gauge people's thoughts and stuff. Um, but I assume that maybe it was a little bit controversial because I already know when going into like Go and Sotsu that people were iffy on it, just from some comments I've seen. Um, and obviously, I I'd like to imagine most people didn't expect Sotsu to be formatted like it was. Because going into Sotsu, I thought it would be more. Obviously, I did think they would recap stuff, like they would show Satoto's perspective through the routes we saw. It's kind of how it was set up, but then I thought the main focus, or at least a 50-50 split, would be on what happened after, after Neto. But it turned out it was like an 80-90 split for Satoku's perspective, and just we just got 2 episodes of what happened after Neko. Um which, when I first thought about it, it's I don't know. I was kind of had mixed feelings, but I did think about it for a couple of days before making this video, and I think I do understand why they did it, and it makes a lot more sense to me now that I thought about it. Um, First, I'm assuming Ryukishi had also a good grasp. Like, this is his vision of the story. Like, he still had a lot of input in how Sotsu would go. Um, Again, I don't look at outside stuff. Very helpful when people tell me some outside stuff. So thank you for that. If I'm wrong, if Ryukishi was like cut from this or whatever, then inform me, because then I'm just wrong about my hypothesis. Also, I'm assuming that um so I'm assuming this is Ryokishi's design. It's not like a budget cut or anything. That's why they only have 15. I imagine he wanted it to have 15. Um And I think it's because while in Go, the Neto ending was really good. Obviously, revealing that Satoto is the killer to us and Rika. Um, I think they kind of locked themselves into this sort of ending because, obviously, again, Royal We, which I'm just assuming, that going into Sotsu, you're like, okay, so now that Rika knows that it's Satoto, they're gonna have this. We're gonna have like a fragment or 2 or 3 of them not logically, but like strategizing. Rika's trying to gather the friend group to help her, try to convince them, etc., etc. Which is like a natural assumption because that's how the story would go in Higurashi or even Umineko, like fight through fragments, not just some big, quick battle. But I mean, like it kind of made sense. Like we made that assumption, but like why are we making that assumption again, Royal We? It's not like it's Umi Neko where Satoko is like Burn or Rika or Burn or Lambda or even Beatrice where they have this overwhelming advantage on the battlefield slash game board. Satoko's pretty much has the same power as Rika, maybe slightly better. But it's pretty much like an even game besides Satoko's element of surprise. So it's not like Umineko where they had to like do these long battles. It's just kill or be killed, kind of. Um, and it kind of makes more sense with the characters, right? Because we have Satoko, whose plan was to mentally break Rika, put her into a cage, try to keep her in Hinamizawa forever. Though this torture, she kind of needed this animosity and enmity, because if Rita found out it was Satoko, she would lose basically her advantage, right? I guess was a chance that Rita would just give up, knowing the thought of Satoko being her opponent, but obviously that's not her personality. She just got tilted after hearing Satoto's reasoning, so it kind of made sense with how the characters are going. Like Satoto, Witch Toto, pretty crazy at that point. Very overconfident too. So I it's like, even though you think it would be like a long battle, it doesn't really make sense because they're loopers. It's also not a Tatano situation because I would still make the argument that despite Satoto being a looper and being very smart and prepared, I feel like the Takano threat's technically is like still a bigger hurdle to overcome, because you can't just kill Takano. You have like a freaking mini army still doing their shit, right? Well, Satoto, you just need a killer, so it's like, I think it's a mix of the enemy not being so high above that you need all these elements. You just clash. At that point, it's just a clash, right? And it's not like Rita's first rodeo. And the fact that her opponent is her best friend over an issue that they both have, while it seems petty in the larger scale of things, they both have really strong feelings. As we can see, they kind of beat it out of each other. Like it's fitting for me, at least in my opinion, that it ends in just a really hype clash instead of like a longer battle. I mean, technically it was a battle through fragments because they kept switching worlds, but you know what I mean, like a multiple arc thing. It just like, I guess it's just like when Rita finds out the opponent, she's not gonna beat around the bush. She's just gonna go for it. That's what I think, anyways. Um, I guess like I can see a world where they can drag it out if they did have a couple more episodes. Like maybe Rika would attempt to like get her friends to help and, I don't know, solve the problem non-violently, but and Satoto would also have to not like be on full tilt. But she's like Satoto is just constantly mad at Rika. This whole thing. She's like basically, I mean, she's literally has red eyes. That I wasn't trying to make a joke, but she literally is just seeing red the entire time. So like the more I think about it, whether you like it or not, it does make sense with the story. And I feel like if they did want to do a longer battle, I think they just couldn't reveal that Satoto was the killer, or Rika would have to forget it or something. Because with that reveal, it's like the trigger to the climax. And I think that also leads why they did all that Satoto perspective stuff. Because I think, trying to think as Ryutishi, that there wasn't much else they could do. Like, I don't think they could have just focused on new stuff. Like, at most, I think they could have done one fragment where Rika tried other alternatives with a killer Satoko after her, but I don't know. The structure just made sense to me. I feel like if it was like I was thinking it would be, where Rita was planning stuff out, they would have to like retcon or just not do the reveal that early, and just do the reveal like maybe mid season or something. Cause I don't know. I That's what I feel about the situation. Basically, let me know if you agree. It's awkward, and I'm not saying it's the best because it is a little awkward. The rest of the story being flashbacks and stuff, or basically being it's basically like Mayatashi 3 different times. Um, like, is that the best way to do things? I don't know, but at least I think it made sense, and I can see why they did it, in my opinion. Unless again, Ryotishi didn't have control and they did get their budget cut or something, then I guess I'm just wrong. But I think it's structured well for their plan at least. Would it be more interesting the other way? I don't know. It's hard to. I would have said yes a couple of days ago, but again, after thinking, it's harder for me to imagine that. Um, did I like the Mayatashi elements? If they were not as good as they were, then I probably would be a little more mad about them. But I liked them. I thought they were excellent. In some ways, I thought they were like the first and second arc were even better than the final 2 arcs. Maybe hot take. Like I really love the Rena one, even though it was the arc we as Higurashi readers, visual novel readers, is like probably the least new arc. It had like a lot of stuff we knew with the Rena bad story. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I loved Redemption Arena. It still caught me off surprise, even though we got Tepe. Just I've mentioned this before. I don't know if people agree. Probably not, because I think Tepe was a worse person. But for some reason, Rina just pissed me off more. So seeing her redeemed and being kind of likable, at least to the point where I wanted her to survive, was it was a nice feeling. Um, Obviously the second arc, Watakashi, I believe. Sorry, I already forgot the names, even though the handy dandy trick, just because I haven't thought about it in a bit. Um, I mean, I would always like it. It's a Mion arc. Mion, one of my top three favorite characters. Seeing her um, L5 stage was really amusing. Again, that's one of the kudos I have to give to the new anime series is their portrayal of new L5 characters. I thought they did a really good job with that. And seeing Mion in it was super dope. Um the net start, yeah, the Tepe the Tepe art, dude, I love Tepe. I will say it, Tepe was my favorite side character. Wholesome Tefe is like, it's something you would never expect in your wildest dreams, but the fact that they made it something that good is, I think it's definitely praiseworthy. I will say that arc though, the first 2 episodes were the first time through my Sotsu viewing where I felt a little underwhelmed. I thought it was a little slow. The repetition of Satoto and Feathering was finally starting to like grate on me, but the last 2 episodes saved it. One, because L5 Oishi is amazing. Probably my favorite L5 person of the series. I've talked about it a lot through the reactions. I just thought it was excellent how they portrayed him, and he was horrifying. And then we get the finale where, again, the first 2 episodes a little slower, though the first more than the second. The second was pretty good, and then the last 2 were just crazy, high paced, very fun, very reminiscent to When They Cry finale. Higurashi and Umineko, the final arc and the final battles was way more. I call it memey, like meme battles, just because it's almost not because it's very unique in the series, right? Like like if you read like the rest of Higurashi and then see like the mountain dog, like the battle at the I called it Battle of Satoto Hills when the mountain dogs just get crushed by Satoto's traps, or Umineko, even the battle at the Golden Land, stuff like that, where it doesn't usually match the style of the story, but that's one of the aspects that I think makes it great. So it was very reminiscent of that. I was kind of expecting sort of a meme battle of some sort, just because that's what always happens. Um, it was good. It was good. Um, more positives. I mean, we're listening to the OST now. I do. I'll say it. Maybe this is a hot take because I know I do have a viewer or had a viewer, um, that really liked the Studio Dean OST. I liked this OST better. I thought it popped a bit more, a lot more noticeable with some of the songs, in my opinion, while the Studio Dean's was a lot more ambient, in my opinion. I mean, this song's kind of ambient. That's fine, but they had some bangers. I think so too. Oh, opening ending, of course. I think again, uh, eventually there will be we'll do a ranking of all Higurashi openings and endings, but before that, I think there's a good chance that at least the ending might be my favorite ending. I love Missing Promise, which is weird. I mean, I love all the new openings and endings, to be honest. I think they might just be the top of the list, but Missing Promise, it was one that when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And as I kept hearing it, I'm like, holy shit, this is, I don't know why, this just hits different. So I love the music choice, basically. Um, right, editing. I feel like one thing you have to give kudos for is like the editing job. I thought there's a lot of really fun scenes in the story just from the editing, like an iconic one, at least in my opinion, in the first arc with the switch from Rita saying, "Oh, I'm sure you'll win, Keiichi," and it just keeps switching to Rena killing Keiichi in their battle. I thought that was hilarious and great. Then you have the Mion Satoko scene was really well edited, especially giving you that movie shot before Satoko executes Mion. There's like a lot of moments like that where um I'm not really used to seeing that in anime. To be fair, I haven't watched a lot of anime recently, so maybe that's more of a change. Oh, speaking of Mion versus Satoko, this is the song, right? When they're battling. I think it is. Because I watched that scene a couple of times. I really enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, it's the editing style is almost like an anime movie. Like words bubble up like soda pop, and well, that's like the most editing anime movie I've seen recently on the channel. So eh, I like it. I like it. It's a very cool style that I feel like I haven't seen explored a lot. Just because it's a little extra. It's a little more artsy, but I think it looks good for most of the parts. Sometimes it looks a little silly, but overall, I think that quality of the animation is pretty cool. And then there's just like really, really good scenes. A lot in the fight scene that just looks super clean. Obviously, the Rika dance is cool. So there's good stuff in that. Voice acting, I mean, I've always said that the Higurashi voice acting cast is godlike. Pretty much, like Umineto's godlike, Higurashi's godlike in their voice acting. Love Tateno. Not a lot of Tateno this season, but I predicted that because there's not much else to do with their character. But everyone, I think, did great. like for voice acting. So let's talk about some negatives. What didn't I like? Like I said, during the third arc, the repetition was finally hitting me. I know someone commented the Rika dance ceremony thing was also starting to feel a little grindy. For me, it wasn't, just because I really liked the scene, but something about Satoko slowly panning to Satoko's face, then her eyes lit up red, and she gives like a really smug, evil smile. That happens like twice an episode. Then you have every episode. Well, maybe not every, but I feel like it's almost every episode. They cut to Featherine, and she's like, "Oh, you are so entertaining," and then maybe laughs, and then they just cut back. Like that's it. And they do that a bunch of times, and I was like, okay, yes, Feathering, thank you for your commentary. And when she says something different, I get hyped because I'm like, oh my god, she said something. She actually said something like different. So that was getting a kind of annoying. Um, what else? That's the main thing that kind of bothered me. Um, to be honest. I mean, oh, we said it in the reaction. I'm still a little I'm a little cheesed about the Hanyu versus Feathering battle. It was kind of a cool finish, but like, why they gotta make Feathering just throw furniture? There's no way. I mean, you think it's a reference to furniture in Umineko? If it is, that's just kind of dumb, in my opinion. That after having like such an epic battle with Rita and Satoto, the Feathering and Han versus Hani battle was like really, really not great. The ending was kind of cool, but and Tiny Feathering was kind of cool, but yeah. I do wish. Okay, I know I said I can't really imagine. In our long first half of the video, I can't imagine how to make the series longer, but I do think more future stuff would have been cool. Seeing college versions of them. I don't know how they would fit it into the story because I actually thought they fit it well into the last episode. But I don't know, like OVAs, OVAs of them as college and high school students could be cool. Um, I guess the conclusion to the Satoko Rika fight, while it felt like you kind of knew it was coming, um, also was like a little. Oh, I. But speaking of conclusions, I missed it in my positives. I love the conclusion of this of the anime. I thought it was better than the conclusion of the original visual novel. Like almost at the level of the Umineko conclusion. I just love going through all the characters, seeing what's up with them. Like important characters like Oishi to like freaking your boy Tomita Okamura, Takano, Tomataki returning to the village. Like it was great. Hitting you with the dear you. Like it was great. I love that. um yeah, I mean we talked about it so much, but even though I said I understand the format and it made sense to me, I guess like even though I understand it, is it like the best format? Like no, like maybe they should have again not revealed that Satoto was the killer and kind of worked their way up, and then just had like a crazy final arc. Um, Maybe I don't know. I'm kind of pulling strings there, but I can definitely see. I can understand if people felt a little underwhelmed at it. I was personally satisfied, but I can see it. I could crave more. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. I think I just like really liked it. Despite some things, I think a lot of my experience was positive. Again, maybe it got boosted because I'm a hardcore Higurashi fan. Plus, I'm doing reactions on YouTube, which is I don't know, adds a little more excitement to it because you have to be a bit more attentive going into it. I think, um, but I thought it was great. Um, I was happy with it. And I'm sure like for like hardcore Hidra, when they try lure people, they probably got a lot out of it too. Obviously I don't have the full picture, but yeah, good stuff. I will probably like rewatch it eventually. I have the Blu-ray. Maybe when Sotsu Blu-ray comes out, I'll rewatch it. That could be pretty dope. Obviously not on the channel, but yeah. I'm happy about it. So I'm just gonna like end here. Again, if you have any if I missed anything or you want me to talk about something else, just comment. If you haven't, if you're a Higurashi fan and you're like, Aiden, now that you're done Sotsu, what are you gonna do? Well, if you didn't watch the update video on Saturday, check it out. I go over the scheduling. Obviously right after this, it's gonna be the final season of the Higurashi J drama. But check out the scheduling video. I talk about when we're gonna be starting the extra Higurashi console stuff, or visual novel stuff, I should say. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching. Again, if you're brand new here and this is your first video on the channel, feel free to check out the channel if you're a Higurashi fan. There is so much Higurashi stuff. Full visual novel reading, full, like literally every reaction of every adaptation of Higurashi besides the second season of the J drama, which is happening literally right after this. So it's coming, okay? But yeah, thank you for checking this out. Thank you for joining me on the Sotsu journey. Hopefully you'll stick around for more Higurashi stuff, but I just appreciate you taking your time and checking me out. It's very flattering and helpful, I guess. But yeah, thank you. Have a great day, night, and hopefully I'll see you again in another video sometime soon. Peace.